Armageddon, and we've got Jonny Clayton because he ran off last night. So, Jonny, we haven't had a chance to speak to you. What has the last 12 to 18 hours been like for the Ferret?
Yeah, different. I got to be honest. Genuinely, for some reason, I couldn't perform on that stage. Nathan was brilliant. I have to give it Nathan. 103 average. I think at one point he was about 109. Just could not get near him. Brilliant. It's a shame for Nathan really not getting through, because he deserved that the way he played against me last night. But like I said in my early interviews last night, that I had 2 cracks of the whip. Basically, if I'd won, obviously I was through first. But I had, either Gezi or Peter Wright to help me out too. So, obviously I'm over the moon to get through to the last 4, and my nerves are settled now, thank God.
What was the emotion like walking off the stage? Because you don't hide your emotion very well. When you're happy, we see it, but also the downside of when you're annoyed. And you had that look last night. So what was it like, the walk, obviously down the stage, back to the practice room and then out of the venue? Was it a lonely time?
Yeah, obviously it's not a happy time, obviously, but listen, I'm quite realistic. Nathan hammered me last night. There's nothing else I could do. I had to depend on Gezi Price. So luckily, Gezi won his game against Nathan, and I got through. There's so many thoughts going through my head, so many feelings, but at the end of the day, that was the second crack of the whip, and thankfully Gezi beat Nathan, and I'm through to the final night.
Did you watch the game?
No, I was watching golf. But I have to be honest, Kendall was, sitting down. I knew what was happening because he was cheering and shouting. So yeah, I knew what was happening, but I never watched the game.
Did you speak to Nathan afterwards, or since? Obviously, he lost to Gezi.
By text, to be fair to him, true gentleman. He said, "Congratulations, and go and smash it next week." That takes a lot, because obviously, like you just asked me that question, feelings after losing are totally different to feelings after winning, and especially to get through to that final 4. So to be fair to him, true gentleman, class act, fair play to Nathan Aspel.
As well, obviously, I don't know if you're aware of it now, but the whole night was weird, because obviously Michael picked up an injury as well and was unable to play his semi-final. So the whole race for the playoffs, the whole playoffs conundrum, it's all a bit up in the air at the moment.
Yeah, it was. It was a strange thing to see. You saw a dart player walking off injured. Not returning. Sorry, because he was injured, not walking off. But it was a strange night. Thankfully, I'm in the last 4, and that's all I can say. I can laugh about it now, but genuinely, I weren't laughing at it watching golf last night. I remember Dave Allen asking me, "Are you going to watch the game?" It was a very short and sharp no, but
was it, or was there another word in before?
No, not at all. I kept my cool last night. I've always got smiles on my face, but it was a nervy time. I'm going to be honest. It's if that was a straight shootout, between me and Nathan, whoever went through, he 100%. The way he played, he'd deserved that. But thank God to my captain on the World Cup, he pulled me out of trouble, and I'm there in the last 4.
You got a chance to banish the demons from last year as well, because you went there in red hot form, topping the table, and as you say, it didn't go according to plan in last year's semi-final against Joe. This year, you've got him through the back door right at the last minute, so chance to put last year right. Yeah,
maybe. Do you know what I mean? I've got Gezi Price, and it's all on night. Do you know what I mean? Like you just said, I was flying last year. Everything was just going my way. It felt, brilliant. I just left the dart on, it landed in a treble or whatever. But this year I've struggled a bit, especially the early part. I was lucky with those 2 nights with the wins, obviously. But last week against Dimitri, I think that game was massive. That game was, to me, more important than losing last night to Nathan. Simple reason, because it gave me that extra chance. Obviously, if I could have won that last night against Nathan, it would have been brilliant. But that game against Dimitri last week, it had to happen, otherwise I wouldn't have been standing here saying I'm through. So I think that game last week against Dimitri was massive, and thank God Gezi helped me out.
Did you drop Gezi a WhatsApp last night as well?
Yeah, I just told him he's my new best friend. I always say nice things about him, but I'll say very nice things about him from now on. So, no, all jokes aside, you know, he did me a favour, massive favour.
Jonny, here at Armageddon as well, taking obviously last-minute replacement for Micheal Van Gerwen, but an unbelievable crowd out there, packed to the rafters. What was it like up there?
Yeah, it's great. You know, listen, I had a phone call earlier on and said, do you fancy doing an exhibition tonight? Obviously to dance, the fans are great. No, it's packed out in the arena, and brilliant atmosphere, and I think it's just warming up. So I think by the end of the night, it's going to be absolutely bouncing.
Going to get an early crack at Gazzy as well, ahead of next week up there tomorrow.
Yeah, I might push him off the stage or something, but no, obviously it'll be a little warm-up. See, I know what he's about. Listen, hopefully I can turn up the next week and upset a few cards, like, you know.
Also as well, MDA and Modus going around the country at the moment with all the exhibitions. I know you're involved in a lot of them. What does it do for players, these exhibitions? Because it's like unrivaled match practice in all scenarios, on a stage, crowd, everything. What does it do? Yeah,
obviously it keeps us hot, keeps us, you know, in match practice. You know, I know it's a different kind of atmosphere because you try and make some, you know, exhibition shots, but you still have to concentrate. You know, you start off a bit of fun, all of a sudden you're under a bit of pressure, then you really need to concentrate and try, you know, and win your game. So but for us as players, it keeps the eye and the arm warm, and basically it keeps the fans happy, and that's all that counts.
Back here in October for the World Grand Prix as well, something that I know you have a love affair with here in this venue.
Yeah.
What is it about the venue that you love?
It's been kind to me. What more can I say? Do you know what I mean? And it was against Gazzy in that night too. So there's a lot of Jonny v Gazzy going on tonight. But no, you know, as it is, you know, I'm defending that 100k. So it's going to be different. It's going to be nervy, but that's what we got to do. We all have to do our defending. So hopefully I'll do all right.
Jonny, pleasure as always, lad.
Cheers, fella. Thanks, pal.